own the chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Oh my God, are you seeing this shit, bro? Tesla closed at $695. What the hell is going on?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
Now with IBM getting here, I think it's just going to come more to the forefront and people are going to get more and more eyeballs on Salesforce. Should see a really nice move.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
We got D's Nuts in the crew. Every crew needs D's Nuts. You know what D's Nuts' #1 holding is? Big C.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad. There is no Fat Man Zoom today. You just got me. So just stick with me. I'm sure we'll do just fine. It feels kind of weird to be up here by myself. It's been so long since I've done a live stream on my own. But you got me here, and we're still going to roll with this, guys. Everybody is losing their shit. Can you believe this? I mean, the Dow is down 0.3%. The S&P is down 0.0%, and the Nasdaq's actually green on the day, and everybody's losing their damn mind. Stock market's not crashing, people, but we're going to talk about those yields because they are going up, and that's why some of the tech has been going down. That's why we're having a little bit of a pullback. Plus, there's been a little bit of a surprise on a slowdown of retail spending for the month of February, and that's why we're seeing a little bit of a sell-off today, but I think it's going to be a really good opportunity, and I'm going to bring that up in just a second. First of all, let me get to the top five, or the first five. Rob, Sam, Jeppy, Jensen, J. Chocolate, what's up, Jeff? And Ross Matthews, you are the starting five that have no life. Thanks for being the first ones to show up. But yes, so S&P is down. The markets are a bit mixed right now. S&P is down, Dow's down, Tesla down quite considerably. NASDAQ is up, though, so it's kind of encouraging. And I'm looking at some of my own holdings and looking and seeing that Penn's down to 125, and it is a little bit of a cumbersome kind of day. So why is that? Well, we look at some of the numbers that came out of retail spending for February, and kind of paints the story a little bit. I'm going to actually move myself over here. Hi, how's it going? Well, looking at the retail spending, it actually went down in February, and I don't think anybody should be surprised by this. There was a ton of spending that went on in December and January, and that made sense because of the holidays and that sort of thing. Plus, we were having, the second stimulus come in, and so there's a lot of people spending it then. Now, though, with March, there's going to be a lot more stimulus checks coming through. I imagine that we're going to see quite a bit of spending, and there's been a lot of CEOs out there saying that they expect as much as well. So, in my opinion, it's buy the effing dip. Now, we look at something like the bond yields today, and they are up about 1%. So that's probably another reason why we're seeing a little bit of selling off, but it's only up around 14 basis points. It's at 1.621. So it's not really anything crazy either. We've seen it higher before in the weeks past. So not really anything to be too concerned about. Just kind of checking into the chat. I see that Panek says he's sitting on 100% cash. I don't know if that's the play. You know, we've talked about this before. I mean, I am in the market. Baby, I am big time in the market. All of my funds almost are in the market right now, and all my allocated funds. Let's not get crazy. I'm not broke here, but and just dumped all of my money, all my assets in there. But I think that there's all of the money that I have allocated for investing is invested in the market, just about. And I think that, you know, if you have the means to do so, that days like today is the buy the effing dip situation. Even if interest rates go up a little bit more, there's nothing to worry about here. It's just a down day. Market can't go up every day. Can't be a green day every day. So that is something that I think everybody should probably just kind of chill out on. I don't think that there's anything that anybody really needs to worry about. All right. So we do have a couple of other things to kind of go over today as well. CrowdStrike has earnings today, and I think that's going to be a stellar earnings call. I'm super excited about that. And we can go ahead and take a look at what is going on with CrowdStrike. Let me go ahead and get that pulled up. If you guys are chatting away, make sure that you bring some questions, because it is just me. I don't have anybody to bounce ideas and thoughts off of. So make sure that you're bringing them in the chat. I would love to be able to just do a little bit of a Q&A today. today, since it is going to be kind of a chill day. So CrowdStrike, like I said, has earnings today. Oop. And their expected earnings per share is at 8 cents. I had them coming in at 13. We can take a look at the chart right now on the daily, and it's red as most tech stocks are today, and no surprise, right? But I think that this could be a really good opportunity. Now, I had mentioned that if there was a gamble that I was going to take on earnings, buying a stock before earnings, I think CrowdStrike would be it. I did not take that gamble, but I still stand by that notion. And I think CrowdStrike under $200, in my opinion, is a steal. There's a lot of, I guess, speculation on the fact that the markets in general, or tech in general, and some of the stay-at-home plays that have done really well through the pandemic are no longer going to be in demand, and CrowdStrike kind of falls into that category. If we zoom out here and look at the daily chart, you can see how well this is done through the pandemic, because why? Everybody was staying at home, working remotely. Businesses that had employees working remotely had a higher demand for cybersecurity. CrowdStrike, Palo Alto, they all did really well. And I think CrowdStrike still is going to do well. People kind of have dismissed this idea that remote work is gone. And that we're just going to go back to the way that we were. And that couldn't be further from the truth. In my opinion, I think that remote work is here to stay. Will some people go back to work? Yes, I think there's a certain percentage of people that will go back to work. But I know a lot of folks that used to go to an office and don't anymore, and don't plan to. And that's not just a pocket of a sector. I'm talking people with government jobs, corporate jobs, private jobs, smaller businesses. They're just working from home and they're working remotely. And I think that CrowdStrike probably will come up with a really positive outlook here, not just with, their earnings per share rather, but their outlook as well. I think it's just going to be really, really good for CrowdStrike. As far as anything else in earnings this afternoon, I don't think there's really much else that I am super excited about on this Tuesday. You can look at a couple of other ones. Lennar has earnings. We saw earnings from a couple of other companies, but they're kind of a bunch of no-namers. And if you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, I certainly would be happy to do so. But not really anything else that's really kind of jumping out at me other than CrowdStrike this afternoon. But these live market coverage is a new way, says Jackie Treehorn. I appreciate that. Got 175 of you guys in here hanging out concurrently. Appreciate you guys spending your afternoon with me. If you are liking the stream so far, certainly would appreciate a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you are new to the channel, have never been here, again, my name is Brad. This is Own the Chaos. I usually have my partner in crime here, Fat Man Zoom, but he is off for the day. And so I'm running it solo, taking it back to the good old days. Honestly, it still feels really weird. Still feels really weird being up here by myself. I'm used to doing it a lot still, especially with our Chaos Crew folks. But it's weird doing it here on YouTube. I see somebody talking about Penn, says, boo-hoo, I'm only up 80% on Penn now. Chill out. Nothing to see here. Yeah, absolutely. See a lot of people reciting Fat Man Zoom's relax people. And I think that's what people really just need to realize. I had a lot of people reaching out to me individually and through direct messages and stuff, just wanting to know what they should do. And honestly, I wouldn't do anything. The plan here was to prepare back in February and early March when we saw that huge decline because of the rapid rise in rates. And I think now we're just going to see a trickle of as far as rise in rates are concerned. Let's check back in with those Treasury yields. The 10-year Treasury yield is still just chilling here at 1.621. And it's only up 1%, not even 1%, 14 basis points. It's still there. So it hasn't really moved at all. And I think this is what we're going to see. Some people are making the arguments that this is probably where it levels off because, how can it go any higher than this? Because this is where it was pre-pandemic. And I think the glaring difference here is obviously liquidity, right? We've seen a huge amount of money just injected into the markets. And so that's why there's arguments for higher rates here. And that's why I said that I could foresee this getting to around 2, maybe 2 to 3% by the time it's all said and done. And then, the demand here is going to be so heightened, way more than it was pre-pandemic. We're already starting to see that from a domestic travel standpoint. And I think that, we heard from the Delta CEO, and this is a little bit of a preview for tomorrow's video, by the way. I actually like Delta as it's has kind of lagged some of the other airlines especially when it comes to talking about Southwest, which, by the way, I still love Southwest. It's still my favorite airline play. If you guys want to be in an airline, I think Southwest is the one to be in. Delta is a close second here, and the reason is because it is it is international. It has a lot to do with international travel. And if we look at the way that Delta's been moving, it is actually lagged this. So let me pull up the Delta chart here, and this is all gonna come full circle in a second. But you look at Delta, there's still plenty of upside here, all the way up to $60+ per share. But you look at something like Southwest, and Southwest is pretty much where it was pre-pandemic. So, and actually, it just popped up above that. So this, in my opinion, still has upside. It still would want to own Southwest, but you look at something like Delta, and we're not even there yet. And I would argue that Delta has a pretty close balance sheet. The health of the company is right there with Southwest. The only issue is that they also deal with international travel, and that's what's kind of been slowing them down. But in my opinion, I think this is a really good opportunity. The reason I say this is because the CEO of Delta, Ed Bastian, said that while the airline will post a large loss in the current quarter, bookings have picked up in recent weeks, and he expects the airline to be at or pretty darn close to break even. That, as far as cash burn is concerned, that, in my opinion, is actually pretty huge. And so that, I think, just goes to speak to the level of demand that we're going to see in the coming months, not just in March, but moving forward. And I would imagine that air travel probably at least doubles or triples that of what it was pre-pandemic. And so that is just another factor as to why I think we could see interest rates rise just a little bit. I think a little bit of inflation is probably what takes place here. Not a lot, but a little inflation isn't really all that bad. I don't think it's going to be something that really crushes the market. I don't think it's going to be something that crushes the economy. I still foresee us getting to around 7 to 10% GDP growth, which is massive. I mean, that's record breaking, especially at the speed in which it's going to be happening. So not one bone in my body wants to sell any of my stocks. I'm good. I am good. All right. So checking in. So Bitcoin then. You know what's funny? Says Don Fran of the Don Fran Show. What's up, Don? But so it's funny that you bring up Bitcoin because a lot of people have been buying Bitcoin as far as the hedge is concerned. You know what else is a good hedge against inflation? Value stocks that give dividends. You're going to get money. You're going to get a percentage of that money, and so the earnings per share, and so it's going to be. It's a really great hedge against inflation. People talk about gold. People talk about Bitcoin now as being hedges against inflation, against the dollar. And really, dividends stocks are right up there as well. So I would say that if you don't want to own any of those, then go look for value stocks that have good dividends. If you want a good example of that, and it's crazy to say this, but also still has upside, is ExxonMobil. You look at something like ExxonMobil, and this is not something that you hear a whole lot of on the Own the Chaos channel about Brad being bullish on any kind of oil-related stock, but it's down today, and I think it's probably a good opportunity to scoop some up. They have a crazy dividend yield. I think Exxon's actually got some upside still here. So if we foresee more tubes in the sky, so to speak, and boats in the water as far as cruises are concerned, they all take oil still. And so I think that oil is going to be a good short-term play, and I still think that there's upside here. I don't think it's a good long-term play, and I still stand by that. But over the next quarter, 2 quarters, I think that oil still does rather well, and I think that this is a really good opportunity to probably buy the F and dip on something like ExxonMobil, and maybe hold till the next earning or the next dividend. And get your dividend on that as well, because they have a really crazy. It's like 6-7%. It's insane. It's crazy. Don says, "Well, hold on. They're not the oil play anymore. They went to go green." BP did that too. It's so funny to hear these oil companies going green. But hey, you know what? If the oil companies go green, that's just them pivoting. They're finally realizing that they have to pivot. You know, they can't just keep fighting it, and especially when it's a losing battle at this point. So, yeah. Just checking back in some of the questions here. Victor Leo, I'm just gonna pick some at random, guys. So I'm sorry if I missed some of yours, but it says, Brad, what do you think about Boeing? Already full position in Spirit, worth having both. I think it's worth having both. If you guys, like Boeing, then I don't think there's anything wrong with owning it. I would say though, it's interesting. And then let's look at the chart here. So I'm going to pull up Boeing. I'm going to pull up Spirit real quick. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with Spirit Air System, this is not to be confused with Spirit Airlines. They're two different companies. Spirit Air Systems is actually used to be a spinoff of Boeing, and they spun it off, they spun it off, and it's actually they build fuselages for Boeing. They also have Airbus as a client as well, build some airline products for Airbus. But this, to me, has a lot more upside than something like Boeing. Now, Boeing has already been made a move, and everybody knows Boeing because of brand recognition and some other things like that. But back before the pandemic, Spirit and Boeing kind of traded in tandem with each other, and that's kind of been, and it's a little disconnected at this point. Boeing has made an insane move, and there's still plenty of upside here. You can see pre-pandemic levels were around $348 per share. And at that time, earnings had just come out right before the pandemic. So this is before it got really hammered. But before the pandemic, they experienced some crazy losses, one of the worst quarters they'd had in 2 decades, and it was still trading at $345 a share. Now you look at it here, I think that there's still plenty of upside. This is probably around 35 to 40% upside. Pretty damn good, right? You look at something like Spirit, and Spirit has double, upside 100%. Just about $92 pre-pandemic highs, and it was at $100 before that, before the 737 MAX issues. It was at $100. Right now, it's trading at $50.12. I actually added to it today when it dipped below $50. I thought it was a gift, in my opinion. And so I ended up adding to it for that reason. They're both down 4%. I think they're both good grabs. If you want to own both of them, I'm not mad at you for it. But, as far as diversification goes, it's like, I think you either own one or the other. Can you own both? Sure. But they're probably going to move on the same days. They're going to have the similar type moves. So it's not going to be anything crazy in my opinion. But if I had to add one, if I had to hold just one, it would still be Spirit in my opinion. Lots of people asking about Eli Lilly. Yeah, so I actually own Eli Lilly. I actually grabbed a starter on this. It's actually looking really good today. Ended up grabbing it yesterday and averaged in at around $1.9050. The reason I did that was because yesterday they had pretty tough reaction to the Alzheimer's news. And so if you guys don't know anything about what Eli Lilly's been up to, they've been trying to develop a drug that stops Alzheimer's in its tracks. And investors were really hopeful for this. And yesterday, they basically came out with results that says this is not stopping Alzheimer's, but it is slowing it pretty substantially. And investors reacted pretty negatively to that. In my opinion, I thought it was pretty ridiculous, the reaction. It was the worst day they had in over a year. The worst red day they've had in over a year. So I ended up taking advantage of this dip and grabbed it at 190. It seems to have held really well at 190. We look at the chart here, and so far, so good. It's up about 1% today. I don't think we're going to see any kind of crazy moves, but I did grab some because I thought maybe I could make a couple bucks off of this, and we could probably eventually see a gap fill here. The thing of it is with Eli Lilly is that they have a lot more upside, and they have a lot more products that they are developing as far as drugs are concerned on all different types of fronts, not just the Alzheimer's, even though the Alzheimer's was going to be the big deal here. Eli Lilly didn't move up because of the Alzheimer's drug. They moved up for a lot of other reasons. And so that's why I decided to grab some of this, and I feel pretty confident in it. And, if it does end up falling below 190 for any period of time, I think that there's definitely potential for it to reach 174 if they come out with any more bad news. If they don't, I think there's nothing but upside here, in my opinion. Okay. Yeah. REITs are doing really well. Ivan Broski says, I'm so glad I went heavy on REITs when they crashed last year. They all went up 40 to 70% plus. Have great. Yeah. I mean, what didn't go up 40 to 70%, honestly, since last year? I mean, great job. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's just been so much that's moved since last year. Shout out to the new Green Bull, says Primetime DJs. Yeah, man. Claudia. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you can see some of the folks that have the Green Bulls and some of the Red Bears and Black Bears next to their names. Those are folks that are part of the Chaos Crew. So if you want to be a part of the Chaos Crew, all you have to do is click join next to subscribe. You can also go to ownthechaos.com. You become a Chaos Crew member there as well. And basically all it is, it starts at $4.99 a month, $4.99 a month. You get a daily watch list from us every single day. 5 stocks that we will put out for you guys that we think are worth looking at, potentially buying, but maybe not, but just something that's worth looking at that we think will have some movement throughout that day. And we put it out about a half hour before the market opens. You also get access to our Discord group, all kinds of other stuff, and it just helps support the channel. You can see that we have this awesome studio behind us. We were able to do this because of our folks over at the Chaos Crew. So if you guys want to do that, again, hit the join button next to subscribe. You also get access to my portfolio, which, by the way, is up 100% now. Portfolio is up 100%. We're at 40% almost. Today's probably going to be a different story, but probably up around 35% today on the year. So year to date, 35%, which is absolutely crushing the market. So if you guys want access to that stuff, hit the join button next to subscribe or go to ownthechaos.com. We'd love to have you guys as part of the crew. But super proud of my Green Bulls. For those of you who have Green Bulls next to your name, it means you've been a crew member for longer than 6 months. And we actually have some Red Bulls in here, which have been crew members for longer than a year, which is pretty awesome. We have a couple of those popping up here and there. But yeah, good stuff. Mick Baker says, do you think Drive Shack will see $4 before 3 again? Before 3 again? What does that even mean? I don't know. We can look at Drive Shack real quick, though. Drive Shack is actually doing pretty darn good. Today's having a great day. If you guys didn't catch this, Drive Shack's been like Own the Chaos favorite. Fat Man Zoom loves Drive Shack. This is a competitor to Topgolf. Really, there is no other competitors out there other than Topgolf. And Drive Shack has been making some really great strides here. They actually came in positive on their earnings on Friday, which is something that they haven't seen for quite some time. And today it spiked up to 52-week highs at 367. Right now it's sitting at 337, and it looks great. I think that I don't know if we get to $4 today, but I think that $4, I don't know, before the end of the month, I think that's certainly possible for sure. And we've talked about how I think that this probably doubles from here before the end of the year. Lots of good stuff with Drive Shack. But yeah, it's made an incredible move, and one of the few green ones today, in fact, too. So if you've been in Drive Shack, at least this one's saving your day a little bit. Okay. I saw a really good question. Let me scroll up here. I saw a really good question from somebody. From Jeff. What's up, Jeff? What are your thoughts on C3 ticker symbol AI? Been beaten down lately, and they have a ton of cash and might be a sneaky reopening play since Caterpillar uses their AI. Also, still down from 2020 low. Let's see here. It's ticker symbol AI. Yeah, C3. Okay, yeah. I know this company. Yeah, look at this. Look at the way that this has been beaten down. Did they miss earnings or something? Oh, no, they didn't miss. Is Aunt Kathy in this one? Just out of curiosity, I have to look at their ETF. There you go, Bob. Bob K is a Red Bull. There you go, my man. So yeah, to answer your question, Jeff, I think that it looks to me on the chart that it looks like it's bottomed out pretty good here at $77. Right now, it's trading at around $83.19. So pretty close, in my opinion. I would be surprised if this actually fell below this. So I think that yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent buy here just from looking at the chart. I don't know the company enough to really give a formal opinion on how well the company's ran or anything like that. But just given what you've kind of told me and what you kind of already know about the company, I think it's probably a good solid buy. Especially looking at the chart here, it looks like it's bottomed out quite nicely. All right. So we got 5 minutes to close. Again, one of the key stocks that I'm paying attention to this afternoon after hours is going to be CrowdStrike. They have earnings after hours. Expected earnings per share is 8 cents. I think they come in around 12 or 13. So we'll see what happens here. But it's down around 2% this afternoon. Looks like it's trying to make a comeback. It actually came down and bottomed out a little bit. And kind of just trading a little sideways going into the close here. Don Sackey asks, CRM or Etsy? Salesforce or Etsy? Man, that's a really tough question. Let's take a look at Salesforce right now and see where the upside lies. So Salesforce sitting at 214.90. It's actually having a green day. How about that? Salesforce, we love Salesforce, and it's been beaten down as well. $200 seems to be where the bottom of this chart lies. And I would be surprised if we saw that again in the near future, whether rates go up or not. I would venture to say that if this gets up above 218.16, that this is probably going to be a good buy, in my opinion. And I think that probably continues. I mean, we're pretty far off of the 200-day MA. So I like Salesforce, but let's compare it to Etsy, see what's the better buy. Both of these companies are incredibly run. And so it's going to be a tough question to answer, but I think I'm just looking for upside here. So Etsy has actually been trading in this nice little channel here. And between 240 and I would say 189, it's kind of been in this channel. It's a pretty volatile channel, but a channel nevertheless. And so I would say that if I'm looking at upside here, I would say that Salesforce has more upside. Sitting at 214, and it's trading off of its highs that were all the way up. Let's see, how was this $300 at one point? 270. So it was trading at 270 at one point, sitting at 214. In my opinion, I think that this still has plenty of upside. And there's just a lot of people that are sleeping on what Salesforce actually provides. I think that Salesforce is actually going to do really well into the recovery too. All right. Let's see here. See, there's a lot of chatter here, guys. You guys are awesome. Thoughts on Shopify? I think Shopify continues to do well. I feel like I missed something. Why are the other YouTubers talking about a crash? Yeah, I know. So I did this on purpose. So I haven't looked to see what Meet Kevin is talking about today, but I imagine that his title has the word crash in it, and he's talking about a stock market crash. I imagine some of the other ones are talking about crashes as well. It cracks me up. You know, and I wish I could ask one of them, you know, when they really talk about crashes, do they mean it? It is mind blowing to me to hear them talking about crashes when it's just a simple red day, you know, it's just a simple red day. I mean, the Qs, the NASDAQ barely for one day in 2021, only the NASDAQ got into correction territory. Now, I said this back in January that the stock market will not crash in 2021, and I stand by that. The NASDAQ barely got into correction territory this year. One day it got into correction territory and then bounced like a MFer, went crazy. So like when I see these other creators and influencers talking about, oh, the market's crashing, this crashed, that crashed. It didn't. The market did not crash. It's not going to crash. There's just too many good things going for it that it's just not. I mean, unless we get a second pandemic, honestly, that'll be the only thing that I could see us, seeing another crash. But there's a lot of things that have to go wrong in order for the market to crash, and I just don't see that happening. There's never been 2 consecutive years where the market's crashed. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many things we could talk about how the market is not crashing, that it just cracks me up that there's other YouTubers out there that talk about that. Don says they won't talk to me either. I know, it's so funny. Funny pranks gone wrong. It's all clickbait. Yeah, I don't like to accuse anybody of clickbait, but hey, if it quacks like a duck. If it quacks like a duck, hey, it is what it is. By the way, Are you all digging these camera angles? I've been messing around with these camera angles, and I gotta say, I look damn good. Very good point, Studio Plug Memphis. Time in the market is better than timing the market, and I could not agree more. And that's the way that I go about doing it. Sure, I take profit when I gotta, but it's even during the crash, I was in the market to a certain extent. I had a pretty decent amount of cash out of it, but I was still in the market nevertheless and worked my way back in. And even during this correction, I was still buying stuff. So, yeah. People liking I look damn good. That's right, Claudia. That's right. So let's see here. Bought Airbnb at 209, crying now. See, that's what I'm talking about. Get your life together. Airbnb is at $200 a share, which means that you're down not even 5%. Now, if that's beyond your risk tolerance, fine. But I bought it at $194, so I'm only about $6 off from where it's at now. I was super pumped about it yesterday, and even today it went all the way up to $214 until the market cooled off and sold off. But listen, I'm looking at this as a good buying opportunity. Does anybody think that Airbnb is going anywhere? Hell no, it ain't going nowhere. It's only going up from here. Yeah. It's all about the angle, says James McCray. Yeah, I've been working on it. So like this angle over here, actually, I'm digging like you can see the whole studio almost back here. You can see all the way back to the NBA Jam. Can anybody see the NBA Jam all the way in the corner? It's pretty cool. I am no professional filmmaker, but I'm getting pretty good at the novice stuff. All right, so the market's officially closed, and let's see what we got with CrowdStrike right now. And if I can call on you guys, yes, Jeff, Field of Depth, yes, absolutely. But CrowdStrike right now is just trading flat after hours. If anybody feels so inclined to do so, I'd appreciate it if you could help me out with some of the earnings calls. I'm going to do what I can to try and pull up the earnings for CrowdStrike as quickly as possible. I do have Twitter pulled up. But if somebody sees it before me, definitely shout it out. Let's see here. So I'm going to pull it up. Nothing yet from CrowdStrike, but certainly will let you know if I find something soon. Somebody tweeted out, I love the tweets on these sometimes. CrowdStrike moment of truth. It's showtime. Good stuff. Studio Plug Memphis. Actually, I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot, Jay Chocolate. Jeff Chow, who's in the chat. He's actually my video editor. And so Studio Plug, he gave you a shout out. Says firework. He does do some pretty damn good work. Makes me look good. I do terrible. I do pretty terrible at the filming side of things. And he makes it all look better. Is there daylight savings overlap? No, there isn't. No daylight savings overlap. Everything just gets adjusted as is. So we're just waiting to hear from it. All right. Let's see here. So still just looking at yeah, that's all Jeff, man. That's all Jeff, Studio Plug Memphis. Appreciate it, Jeff. All right, here we go. CrowdStrike is actually moving here. little bit of movement here after hours. So far, it is up around 1.76% and looks like it's continuing to climb here. Nothing out yet that I'm seeing. Let's give this a little bit of a refresh. It's so funny how like the fastest way I can get the earnings plays is through Twitter. I know there's other outlets to do this through, but it always seems like Twitter's the fastest way to do it. I'm open to suggestions if people have better ideas, but I've tried some stuff. Twitter always seems to be it. It's just funny how that works. But yeah, look at this. 3.5% CrowdStrike. What did I say? I said that if there was a bet to be made before earnings, CrowdStrike was it. Now, it's still very early, and we have no official word out on this, but it's looking pretty good so far. Spiked up to 204. It's up 2.5%. What up, Oliver Thorpe? Good to see you, man. 208 of you guys hanging out, and thanks for allowing me to be a part of your afternoon. If you guys could hit that thumbs up, I certainly would appreciate it if you're getting value out of today's stream. And if you just appreciate me running this solo while Fat Man Zoom took the day off, I'd appreciate that too. All right, checking back in on the earnings call here, see if I got anything. Nothing so far on CrowdStrike's earnings just yet. Primetime DJ said StockTwits works good. Yeah. All right, here we go. So CrowdStrike sees quarter one adjusted earnings per share, 5 to 6 cents. It says it was 4 cents estimated. I thought it was 8. No, here we go. Oh, here it is. This is it. Here it is. CrowdStrike Holdings. I said 12 cents. Estimated earnings per share is at 13. They beat their 8-cent estimate. Sales $264 million in revenue. Damn if I didn't come in almost right on the button. I said 12 to 13 cents. Let's freaking go. So that's the official numbers for CrowdStrike. Again, just to repeat it, 13 cents is their actual earnings per share. Pretty accurate on that. They beat their estimated earnings at 8 cents and 264 million in revs compared to 250. I believe I think I said 280 on revs. So not too far off, but damn if I didn't come in right on the button for CrowdStrike as far as earnings per share are concerned. So looking really good. Nothing on their outlook just yet. But so far, so good on this. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the love. So, man, I'll take that all day long. Nailed it. All right. So looking pretty good here. Nothing on their outlook just yet. I'm trying to pay attention to see if we have any kind of outlook on this, but nothing so far. Just have the solid numbers up to this point. And, yeah, nice, Don. Nice. Some pretty interesting commentary on Twitter about CrowdStrike. Here we go. Their guides are, 287 million for fiscal year 2022. 27 to 30 cents per share is their estimated 1.32 billion versus 1.2 billion. So that is actually very good. So it looks like CrowdStrike is expecting to stick around for a while. Really great stuff. Rajiv, thanks for the donate, man. Appreciate it. I think you're a man. Appreciate that. Thanks so much. 269 was my estimate for revs. So yeah, I wasn't far off from that. What was the actual revs were? I said 269, 264. So damn, that was pretty spot on. Pretty spot on for CrowdStrike. I'm proud of that. Fat Man Zoom is golfing. James McCray, yeah, he actually is golfing. He's golfing for a good cause, though. It's a charity event, and he committed to doing it. So can't give him too much of a hard time. It's for a good cause. I mean, you guys can bust his balls if you want. You won't hurt my feelings. Right now, looking at CrowdStrike and still kind of just doing really well, up above $200 a share. It's right now trading. I'm sorry. Yeah, right at $200 a share. It's up around 1.78%. I imagine we see this continue to move up. The call is going to come a little bit later, probably about an hour from now. But yeah, that's going to be it's going to be good. I think it's going to continue to roll here, and we've talked about it all week, and even on Stockwatch Sunday that I thought CrowdStrike was going to be a good solid buy under $200. Closed at 196 and now up over 200. This looks great. Loving this. Loving this. No, he's actually golfing at a real golf course, not golfing across the street. Will CrowdStrike hit 220? I think CrowdStrike will probably go beyond 220, to be honest with you. And actually, it's moving really well right now, starting to move up even higher at this point, and breaking over after-hours highs already. There we go. There's 205. Here we go. Here we go. CrowdStrike is really moving now. There must have been something that investors liked here. Really liking this movement here now at this point. CrowdStrike, man. Here we go. So where can this go from here? Yes, I think that 220 is very much a reality for, or a possibility for CrowdStrike. Here's 220. It's actually a resistance right now for CrowdStrike. If we get this above, I would say, looking at resistances here, around 210. If this gets above 210, I think that we're in really good shape to make a move toward 220, and I think it's a very distinct possibility. Palo Alto is up $15 a share. Yeah. So PANW is kind of a competitor to CrowdStrike, and it must be responding to. It's probably just responding to. I don't see that it's up $15. Is it? No, it's down. It's actually down. So yeah. As far as all-time highs are concerned on CrowdStrike, I'm not sure we see that immediately, but I'm sure that it returns back to those all-time highs. Wisdom Lover. Yeah, no problem. Glad I was able to help. Don Franz says, if you go this whole stream without showing the Tesla chart, I'm unsubscribing. Tesla had a tough day today, along with the most of tech. It came down to 676. Is anybody surprised by this? Not are you upset, but are you surprised by it? I'm not surprised by it. I think it actually came back and retested the support almost at 662, closing at 676. So pretty close. I don't think that there's anything to worry about with Tesla either. Still very much a buy the F and dip situation, but yeah, no surprise by this. If you guys thought that you missed the boat when it jumped up over $700 a share, and we're looking for a better opportunity, I think that 662, 664, that area there seems to be a relatively decent support. If it breaks that again, I mean, it could be rough sledding for Tesla, but they've got so many other good things for the old Techno King. But you know, it's volatile as anything, so volatile AF. I still own it. No plans to sell it anytime soon. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. So, again, thanks so much for hanging out. I appreciate you getting me through this live stream solo. This felt good. Felt good to be back in kind of like the swing of things almost. But I appreciate you guys hanging out. That's going to do it for me. Again, it's great to see earnings. We nailed those earnings expectations or estimations, whatever you want to call it, on CrowdStrike. So hopefully you guys made some money on that. And no, the stock market isn't crashing. And get your panties out of a wad. Okay, calm the hell down. Calm the hell down. Okay, guys. I appreciate you hanging out. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And if you aren't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And we will see you guys. I actually have a video coming out tomorrow on 5 stocks that are recovery plays that people are sleeping on. 5 of them. So make sure you're hitting that notification bell as well to get notified when that video goes up. That's going to do it for me, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out.
I quit this bitch.
Peace.